ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back at Soldier Field and ready for action Monday Night Football, the Vikings and the Bears. Minnesota's won the last three head-to-head. They swept the two-game season series a year ago. Sam Bradford and the Vikings offense will be on the field first. Chicago won the toss and deferred, so Minnesota elected to receive the opening kickoff. And the dangerous Cordero Patterson back deep to receive the kick from Connor Barth. Twice in his career, the ball blows off the tee. Patterson has returned the opening kickoff of a game for a touchdown. He did that here in Chicago in 2013. Week 2 of the season. Very pleasant night, 58 degrees. And the wind out of the southeast at 12 miles per hour, enough to impact the placement of the ball on the tee for Connor Barth. Well, the Bears haven't given them much reason to cheer, but here in Chicago, most of the sports attention obviously on the Cubs, posting the W after their win at Wrigley last night in Game 5 against the Cleveland Indians. A touchback, and the Vikings will start at the 25, led by Sam Bradford. An excellent touchdown to interception ratio, 7-1, third best in the National Football League behind Tom Brady and Brian Hoyer, the injured Chicago Bear. Neither of them has thrown an interception this year, and Sam's completion percentage, 67.5, fifth best in the NFL, but off his worst outing as a member of the Vikings against his old friend, the Eagles. His first 3 turnovers of the season, and they put pressure on him all night long. Philadelphia had not been much of a blitz team entering that game. They came after him regularly. Matt Asiata gets the call on first down, and a 1-yard gain for a Minnesota team that's been the worst rushing team in the league so far.
Well, this whole offense needs to hit the reset button, not just Bradford. They were awful last week against Philadelphia. They've got to be very careful with pass protection early in this game. Look for some quick passes, maybe a bootleg. They've got to max the protection and regain their confidence up front.
There's last year's NFL leading rusher Adrian Peterson out with a knee injury. Both starting offensive tackles from the beginning of the year out with injury as well. Plenty of time there for Bradford, and on target to stop Stephon Diggs for a first down across the 40 to the 42-yard line, a gain of 16 for Minnesota.
Diggs has been hurt, battling a groin. He gets off clean. He runs an outside breaking route, and Bradford threw a beautiful strike. If you protect Sam Bradford, he will throw completions. And Diggs, a young receiver who's missed some practice time, good to see him back.
Bears crowd the line of scrimmage. Asiata, another 1-yard gain. Mitch Unrein, the tackle for Chicago. It's the remade offensive line with Jake Long and TJ Clemmings now the tackles, with Matt Khalil and Andre Smith both out injured. The backs and receivers, no Jerick McKinnon tonight. They're do it all running back. He's out with an ankle injury, so Asiata, newcomer Ronnie Hillman will split the carries. Hillman has come into the game and goes in motion to the left of Sam Bradford. Just a 4-man rush, and Bradford throws, caught for a first down. There is a flag down as Adam Thielen crossed midfield and went to the Chicago 45, taken down by Tracy Porter. The flag far side of the field along the line of scrimmage. Gene Steratore, the
offside.
referee.
Defense, number 97, lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty has declined. The result of the play, first down.
Chicago's defense, a 3-4 alignment coached by Vic Fangio with Akeem Hicks, Will Sutton, and Mitch Unrein, the front three. Newcomers Jarrell Freeman and Danny Trevathan via free agency in the inside. And in the secondary, lots of injuries. They've thrust the rookies into action. Trayvon LeBlanc and Devontae Bosby Matt Asiata, the ball carrier to the 39. That was the secondary that was picked apart by Aaron Rodgers in the Bears' last game a week ago Thursday night in Green Bay. He completed 39 passes, as now the Vikings are going to go quickly to the line. 3 different Green Bay receivers had 10 or more catches. Bradford too far in front of Asiata with Danny Trevathan running in coverage.
And defensive coordinator Vic Fangio of the Bears playing with the most inexperienced secondary in football. They're going to go to their dime package now. 6 defensive backs on the field. You're going to see Adrian Amos, second-year safety man, move into linebacker to try to take away Kyle Rudolph, the tight end of the Vikings, who's been their go-to receiver. Right side of your screen.
3rd down and 5. The Bears showing pressure. Bradford with time, throws a wobbler and it's incomplete. Don't know if it was tipped, but it was an end-over-end pass that Adam Thielen could not catch.
That's a big stop for the Chicago Bear defense. If you're not going to get there, get your hands in the air, perhaps get a tip. That ball clearly deflected in. New punt returner for the Bears, Cravon LeBlanc, replacing Eddie Royal. Nobody knows much about LeBlanc, but he is a very good defender. We'll find out what kind of returner he is.
The Royal out for the 2nd week in a row with a toe injury. One of the best return men in the NFL. Jeff Locke, the punter. Kind of field position you might ponder a fake. But Locke boots it away, and LeBlanc lets it bounce, and the Vikings are going to down it inside the 10-yard line. Audie Cole first there for Minnesota. 33-yard punt. Bears on offense right after this. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. By ESPNshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. And by GMC, we are professional grade. Coverage tonight from Skycam, brought to you by American Express. And Skycam shows you the poor field position for the Chicago Bears. Their first possession of the night starts from their own 7-yard line. Led by Jay Cutler, the 11-year veteran. First 3 in Denver, the last 8 here in Chicago. 33 years old, the longest tenured Chicago Bear. The running back is Jordan Howard, the rookie. And he gets the handoff. Tried to bounce to the right, but he couldn't get away from the sticky arm of the veteran Brian Robinson, who is the leader of that defensive front.
And Jay Cutler, you're going to see a different offense than we've seen the previous month with Brian Hoyer. This man is a gunslinger. He's going to be looking for Alshon Jeffrey all night tonight. What the Bears have missed the most about Cutler is his scrambling ability. He can create some offense moving around, and they're going to need it.
Vikings defense has a lot of respect for Jay, given their history against him. They respect his arm talent, as you said, Coach, his ability to move around. Trying to throw a quick one, and he does. For the tight end, Zach Miller breaks a tackle and picks up a first down. He's out to the 18-yard line, bounced out of bounds by Anthony Barr.
Zach Miller, a very good pass receiving tight end. That's his 34th catch. You can line him up in a lot of different positions. And Cutler, from the shotgun, on the time and accurate. And in this quick passing game, you've got to be able to make some yards after the catch. Good work by Miller.
This tackled by Xavier Rhodes, who, in the opinion of Coach Gruden, is having a Pro Bowl caliber season. Howard, the running back again, out of Indiana after a couple of years at UAB, and he is into the secondary. Rhodes has an angle, and Howard, running out of gas, pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
You jump into an 8-man front. If you make a mistake in a gap, you're in trouble. And Howard rips him. He's going to come right off the left side. He presses it. Nobody's home. I had no idea where rookie safety number 27, Jaron Kearse, is going. Kearse, 27, pressed into service with the injury to Sendejo. He's got to clean this up. I know Harrison Smith missed the tackle after line of scrimmage, but right away the Vikings miss their veteran safety, Andrew Sendejo.
Sprained an ankle last week in the first quarter at Philadelphia. Kerr saw a lot of action in that game and struggled from time to time. Mike Zimmer said he was average. Here's Howard again after a 69-yard run. Takes it inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Linval Joseph and Harrison Smith made the tackle.
This Howard is an interesting back. Ezekiel Elliott having a great season for the Dallas Cowboys. He leads all rookie rushers by far, but Howard has had a couple 100-yard outings. And when Jeremy Langford went down, Jordan Howard stepped up. John Fox has given him another start tonight. Looks like a good young prospect.
Langford is active tonight after missing the last 4 games with an ankle injury. On a delay, awkward handoff and an awkward landing for Howard as he got yanked down behind the line of scrimmage by Linval Joseph, the former New York Giant.
Well, you got Jay Cutler, a veteran quarterback who's missed 5 weeks. You got a rookie center, a rookie running back. There's an audible. And either Cutler went the wrong way or Howard went the wrong way, but what a terrible error in the red zone to set up 3rd and long. And already out there, number 41, Sean Anthony Harris has checked in at safety.
Here's last season when they had Matt Forte, Martellus Bennett, among others, good on 3rd down. They have really struggled on 3rd down this year. They've moved the ball up and down the field in the middle of the pack in total yardage on offense, but last in scoring. Cutler on 3rd and 9 for the end zone. A little bit too high for Alshon Jeffrey. With Xavier Rhodes in coverage, and he'll likely be covering Jeffrey just about the entire night tonight. He will travel with the veteran Jeffrey.
He's got to make this catch. This is a zone coverage. He breaks to the outside, and it's a ball that Alshon Jeffries has got to get up and get. No touchdowns this year, and somebody's got to jumpstart this offense. Don't make a great catch. I think he should have caught it.
Connor Barth on to try a 30-yard field goal. The punter, Pat O'Donnell, the holder. Patrick Scales, the long snapper. And it is good. And Chicago's on the board. John Fox and the Bears leading Minnesota 3-0. Back in Chicago where the Bears lead 3-0. The Connor Barth 30-yard field goal set up by a 69-yard run by the rookie Jordan Howard. Longest run of the season for the Bears and the longest of his rookie season for Howard. A good return to action for Jay Cutler, and Mike Zimmer, displeased with the way his team played last week, can't be happy with the start. And as you mentioned, Coach, he made a very quick change at safety after Kurtz looked to be in the wrong place on that long run. There's Connor Barth to kick off. And Patterson's going to let that one go out of the back of the end zone. The Vikings struggling to get the running game going. Last year, with Adrian Peterson leading the league in rushing, they averaged 138 yards per game on the ground. That's down to 74.3 this year. Only the Jaguars and the Giants average fewer yards per game, and the average per rush of 2.6 for Minnesota is worst in the league. And it's the lowest average by any team that won 5 of its first 6 games since the current formula to compute yards per carry started in 1947. So it's tough to win when you rush the ball as the Vikings have, but they're doing it with an efficient passing game for the most part. Mistake-free football on offense with the exception of last week and that great defense. Here's Ronnie Hillman, just his second carry as a Viking. And again, very little in the running game as Akeem Hicks blasted him back.
There's just nothing there. You look at Hicks, number 96. He's a man that has been erratic in his play. He's been good at times. He's been really good. He's disappeared, but he just whipped T.J. Clements. And it's 2nd and long again, and you're just not able to set up any play action pass whatsoever when you fall behind the chains week in and week out with this running game.
Bradford under duress got it off into traffic and incomplete. Intended for Stephon Diggs. It hit Tracy Porter.
Wow. Sam Bradford is not going to last long with this kind of protection. He gets hit by 2 Chicago Bears coming off both sides. We talked about this in the pregame warm-up. The Chicago Bears welcome the return of Pernell McPhee. He's a power rusher. The man can run right through you. And Floyd, number 94, their first-round draft choice, has a lot of speed. Look for Floyd, number 94, to create a one-on-one somewhere inside to get after Bradford.
Third down and 8. 3 receivers to Bradford's right. Running out of time. Had some early, and now he's yanked down by the uniform. Cornelius Washington, the 4-year man out of the University of Georgia, took him to the grass.
Big concern with Bradford is he's just not a quarterback that can scramble. Number 90, Washington, in hot pursuit of Sam Bradford, and he runs him down. 3 and out. Ineffective running game, predictable passing situations, struggling offensive line. Not a good thing with a quarterback that cannot scramble.
That does go down in the books as a sack. Jeff Locke will punt. Cravon LeBlanc back deep. Good kick by the former UCLA Bruin. LeBlanc, not sure if he touched that or not. Apparently he didn't, because he just got away from it. But not their usual punt returner, and it showed there. Cordero Patterson, now a gunner on punt coverage for Minnesota. Downed it near the 5-yard line. Next week, Monday Night Football returns to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Tyrod Taylor and the Buffalo Bills in Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. That's at 8:15 Eastern Time. Coverage beginning at 6 with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. You can catch all of the action right here on ESPN and also streaming live on Watch ESPN. 72-yard punt by Minnesota's Jeff Locke, the longest of his 4-year career. And the Bears, for the second time in as many possessions, start inside their own 10. They moved at 81 yards to kick a field goal in their first possession. Jordan Howard already had a 69-yard run. He got stood up by those UCLA Bruins, Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks, former roommates at UCLA. Starting offensive line for the Chicago Bears. New guards, the Pro Bowlers Josh Sitton and Kyle Long are out, so it's the veterans Cush and Larson on either side of the rookie Cody Whitehair's had a very nice year. And the backs and receivers, Howard and Kadeem, will be joined at running back tonight, we believe, by Jeremy Langford, who is active tonight for the first time in 5 weeks. Long tricep injury suffered in the game at Green Bay, sitting out with an ankle. Jay Cutlers, short set, throws caught. Short of the first down. Josh Bellamy taken back by Terrence Newman, the ageless cornerback, now 38 years old. Only James Harrison, 4 months older, is older among defensive players in the NFL.
Quick huddle. Here they go.
And Minnesota nowhere near lined up. Cutler throws into traffic and almost intercepted. Intended for Jeffrey. Xavier Rhodes was ready. Most of his teammates weren't, but he got in front of that pass and almost picked it off.
Great idea to jump the count, but he just missed the throw. You got to miss this throw to the outside. Cutler missed it to the inside, and Xavier Rhodes almost with a pick six. Location on outside breaking routes, critical.
Pat O'Donnell on the punt. Not a very good kick. You could hear the crowd groan. Bradford will have excellent field position. They're going to spot it right at the 50-yard line. It's a 38-yard punt. Back in Chicago, where the game is delayed, Ed Walker, the head linesman, injured during the punt by Pat O'Donnell. He slipped while running down the far sideline. His feet just went out from under him, and he's getting medical attention, as you saw.
down here at the bottom.
We're joined, as we are every week, by Jerry Austin, longtime on-the-field official in the National Football League. So, obviously, and unfortunately, we hope Ed's all right, he's not going to be able to continue. So, what are the mechanics now for this officiating group going forward?
Well, now they go to a six-man crew. The back judge, well, the side judge on that side will move down to the head linesman's position, or the back judge will go there. The back judge position goes away. There's no one deep in the middle of the field until there's a punt. Then the back judge will go back there. There'll be one short on the sideline.
Well, he did land awkwardly, his legs bending underneath him.
Let's hope he's okay. Everybody has to get an explanation as to how the officials will be deployed.
I think Jerry's still in good shape, John. We'd miss him up here, but I don't know if you brought your uniform, Jerry. You'd have to be the head referee. You worked a long time to become the lead official, worked a couple of Super Bowls in that capacity.
Well, I did work deep for 8 years prior to being a white hat. So if they'll give me a whistle and a flag, I'll go out there and move in there.
Offensive coordinator Norv Turner of the Vikings has had plenty of time to think about what to call. And I know Coach Turner is an aggressive play caller. He's looking at a depleted secondary of the Vikings, or excuse me, of the Bears. And I know deep down he would love to take a shot on first down in this field position. Bottom of the screen, number 20. Devontae Bosby, just activated from the practice squad, struggled last week against the Packers. Tracy Porter, number 21, at the top of the screen, has been battling a knee injury. Let's see what gives.
Gene Steratore, some final words for other members of his crew on how they will handle this situation. Officiating one man short. Bradford not on the same page with Stephon Diggs, who was covered by the veteran Tracy Porter.
These two had a lot of problems last week in Philadelphia. Diggs was too short. He was too deep. This time he's not on the same page. Young receiver, veteran quarterback, cross signals again.
Norv Turner, when we visited with him, put that on Diggs. Just didn't run the right routes. That drives Norv crazy. Man wide open, and Diggs couldn't make the catch. He was behind the defense, and the throw just a hair too long.
Using up-tempo offense, and that's the matchup they wanted. Their young speed receiver, Stephon Diggs, working against Tracy Porter, who's been injured, and he ran right by the veteran. Bradford usually rings these up, disgusted with himself. Third down and long. Time for the Bears to unleash their pass rush. They've been effective in these obvious passing situations.
Bradford likes the tight end Kyle Rudolph on third down. Looking in that direction and throws for Rudolph, and he's short of the first down. Ripped down by Jarrell Freeman, the free agent over from Indianapolis.
Good work by Freeman. One-on-one coverage. Makes a good wrap tackle, well short of the first down. Let's see if LeBlanc can field this punt. When I was coaching and I had a young returner back there, I used to close my eyes and hold my breath. He cost them dearly the last time.
You wonder about the spin of the punt off the left-footed lock. A little bit different than what they customarily see. Another beauty by Locke, and they could not rescue it. Trey Waynes was there, but couldn't keep it out of the end zone. So the ball will come out to the 20. It'll be the best starting field position on possession 3 for the Chicago Bears. Xavier Rhodes, the cornerback from Minnesota, has done an excellent job so far this season. Against him, it's been Rhodes closed. Odell Beckham of the Giants on a Monday night game, a career low 23 yards receiving in the Giants' loss in Minneapolis. And the best receiver for the Houston Texans in week 5, DeAndre Hopkins, had 5 catches. They were all in the second half, although Rhodes did have a pass interference and defensive holding penalty while matched up with Hopkins. So another challenge tonight for Xavier against Alshon Jeffrey.
Xavier Rhodes and the entire Minnesota Vikings know where Jay Cutler is going to look tonight in critical situations. They have got to get the ball to Alshon Jeffrey. They misfired early in this game for a touchdown, and Jeffrey has been shut out. No touchdowns this season. He's on a franchise contract. They got to get him going. Unfortunately, Rhodes in this secondary going to make it tough.
Targeted twice, no catches for Jeffrey. The only player in the league with 500+ yards receiving this season who does not have a touchdown. Play action pass to Howard. Cutlers throws the deep ball and too deep. Looking for Deontay Thompson, who got behind Terrence Newman.
Deontay Thompson against the veteran Terrence Newman, 38 years old. One-on-one coverage, just a post pattern. Thompson had a step. Cutler overthrew him. Cutler's missed a lot of time. Hasn't worked with Thompson a lot. He's used to seeing Kevin White, Eddie Royal, 2 veteran receivers who are out tonight.
White, their first-round pick a year ago, injured again. Missed all of last year with a leg injury. Zach Miller makes the catch. That's 98 straight catches without a drop on throws that were on target, the longest streak in the NFL. It actually dates back to 2010 because Miller missed 3 years, largely due to injury. The front 4 for Minnesota is outstanding. 17 sacks up front. And if you're Evelyn Wood, you enjoyed the rest of the lineup for the Minnesota Vikings. They move fast. Their lineup
number 72, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Charles Leno guilty of the false start, 3rd-year left tackle out of Boise State.
Let's see what Jay Cutler gives his Bears in the huddle. He's got 2 new guards. He's got a rookie center, and he's got to match wits with Mike Zimmer in a defense that loves to disguise and confuse on these 3rd and long.
There's 32% on 3rd down. Vikings blitz. Cutler has time, and his throw is way too high for Miller. There was contact, but the ball was way over his head.
You do not want to get behind in the chains against this Viking defense. Robinson is a defensive end lined up as a defensive tackle. He and Anthony Barr are going to blitz on a cross dog, and it's man-to-man coverage with Harris and Smith roving at free safety. There's nothing there.
Pat O'Donnell will punt again. Adam Thielen back deep for it there without Marcus Sherrills. Best punt returner in franchise history. 5 career punt returns for touchdowns. He's out with a wrist injury suffered last week at Philadelphia. And now Thielen out of Minnesota State stumbles down at the 32-yard line with the coverage about to arrive. 51-yard punt. Thielen took it back for 4. 3-0 Chicago. Back in the great city of Chicago. Bears hosting Monday Night Football for the 2nd time this year. It's their 4th primetime game. They've had a Sunday night, a Thursday night, now 2 Mondays. They're still looking for their first win in primetime and a rare home win. They're 2-9 at home in their 2nd season under John Fox. Haven't given this crowd much to cheer about. They're trying to fire up the fans as the defense is on the field, leading 3-0 with 3:12 to go in the first quarter.
Vikings need a first down. They need to develop some kind of rhythm on offense.
They haven't been able to capitalize on good field position. Starting now from the 32, tough run by Matt Asiata out near the 39-yard line. Harold Jordan's Quartet made the tackle.
Bradford been under pressure early again in this game. He went down hard. And when you get pressured a lot, you sometimes rush throws. You can't step up and finish throws because of the push in the pocket, and he missed Stephon Diggs, a ball that he normally hits. 2nd and short.
You asked Sam last night, when you're pressured like he is, what your concerns. He said you have to continue to go through your progressions. You can't rush through the options. Jonathan Bullard, a nice tackle on Matt Asiata, taking him down short of the first down by about 1.5 yards.
This offensive line has been yelled at a lot this week. And they're trying to use this no-huddle offense to calm the Bears down.
They're coming up to the line quickly, trying everything they can. They just can't do anything on the ground. Asiata stuck well short of the yard to make. Adrian Amos up from his safety spot.
Offensive line just cannot knock anybody off the ball and get a short yardage conversion. Third down along 2. Just going to run an inside zone, and Brandon Fusco stalemated at the point of attack. Free linebacker in the hole, and it's another 3 and out for the Viking offense.
They're 0 for 4 on third down. Trayvon LeBlanc back deep again. Already the 4th punt of the first quarter for Jeff Locke. Not a good one. Low and returnable for LeBlanc. A rookie out of Florida Atlantic. An excellent coverage by Cordero Patterson, who in his 4th year out of Tennessee just became a gunner this year, and he has become an excellent gunner. 40-yard punt, 7-yard return. Well, more of the same from a week ago, Coach, for Sam Bradford. Was roughed up by his former Eagle teammates in Philadelphia. You mentioned the top of the telecast. Sacked 6 times, hit 12, fumbled 4 times, lost 2 through a terrible interception at the beginning of the game. The 2 teams exchanged turnovers on 5 straight possessions. Back to the drawing board on the sideline for the Minnesota offense. Play action pass for Jay Cutlers. Kadeem Carey was the running back. A wobbler. Caught. Into Minnesota territory. Cameron Meredith, the second-year man out of Illinois State, banged down by Terrence Newman.
Who is Cameron Meredith? Bootleg. Cutler pulls up and zings one. I've been watching this Chicago Bear film. I thought Meredith was Kevin White. Then I thought Meredith was Alshon Jeffrey. Then I put the film away and I said Meredith is playing like the best receiver on the Bears offense. He's an unknown out of Illinois State, former quarterback.
Wasn't active at the beginning of the year. I remember here with the first Monday night game this season, week 2, the first Bears appearance, and you at practice were wondering why Meredith wasn't playing. So impressed you were. Kadeem Carey, the ball carrier. Brian Robinson made the tackle.
Well, Meredith, and for the most part, this entire group of Bears receivers are outside receivers. They're guys that line up outside the numbers, run outside breaking routes. They run down the field. What they're lacking is a slot receiver, and you're going to see later in this game, Meredith is going to work between the numbers and make some critical inside breaking catches.
As expected, low scoring. The Bears leading Minnesota 3-0 after 1 quarter here at Soldier Field on Monday Night Football. Saturday night at 8 Eastern time on ABC, a huge Big Ten matchup with college football playoff implications. A couple of one-loss teams, number 9 Nebraska in Columbus to take on 6th-ranked Ohio State and J.T. Barrett. You can stream it live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Nebraska just suffered its first loss of the season. Played well, lost in overtime at Wisconsin.
We're good.
You're never quite sure if you're good when you're playing Minnesota. Sometimes they deliver surprises with the pass rush. Cutler stumbled a bit, and the ball hits Alshon Jeffrey in the back of the head.
And Jeremy Langford better button his chin strap. You got to be ready as a back when you play the Minnesota Vikings, or you're going to get destroyed in one-on-one pass protection. But Alshon Jeffrey never turned for the ball. Don't understand that.
No.
Jeffrey and Cutler have connected a number of times, but I've never seen that result.
Accurate throw. Third time they've targeted Jeffrey. Still without a catch. 3rd down and 8 just across midfield. Four receivers in the game. Harrison Smith on a safety blitz. Now a shovel pass ahead to Jordan Howard. Here he goes again. Jordan Howard weaves his way down inside the 20-yard line.
Jay Cutler, something we talked about in the pregame. What they miss is his gunslinging ad-lib plays. Unblocked defender. Harrison Smith, the Pro Bowl safety. Cutler's going to avoid him. He has the presence to flip the ball to Jordan Howard. That might be the biggest pass play against the Vikings all season. Can the Chicago Bears finish a drive? They love to throw the ball in this 3 tight end set. Great time to do it.
34-yard pass play. Now back to the ground with Howard. Bounces off a couple of hits. He's down inside the 15. Shamar Stephan, excellent run stopper, backup defensive lineman out of Connecticut, made the tackle.
Howard has been impressive running. He's improving as a receiver. I think he's got a long way to go. Deshaun, keep an eye on Joshua Bellamy, number 11. They have a strategic group of plays for him in this tight red zone.
Four-man Minnesota rush. Time for Cutler in the flat, caught by Jordan Howard. Ripped down immediately by Captain Munnerlyn, 8-year veteran.
Munnerlyn is a good veteran player. He's done it a long time. He did it well in Carolina. He replaces Chad Greenway, a veteran linebacker, in their nickel package. And on 3rd down and 6, where is Alshon Jeffrey? And there's that matchup, Rhodes and Jeffrey. If you want to score, you're going to have to beat their best.
From the 10-yard line, Cutler steps into the throw, and it's batted away, intended for Jeffrey, and Rhodes wins the battle again.
Yeah, Rhodes is like a Cy Young Award winner. He throws a shutout for us every time we get him. One-on-one with Alshon Jeffrey on 3rd down in the red zone. And look at the length, the long arms of Xavier Rhodes. I think that ball got in on Jeffrey again. You've got to extend your arms, cut the flight time down, and snatch it if you're a wideout. Jeffrey has failed twice now on 3rd down in the red zone.
Here's Connor Barth. Already connected from 30 yards. This is a 28-yard field goal attempt, and Chicago leads 6-0. Xavier Rhodes, an emerging star in his 4th year out of Florida State. We said, how do you counteract the very tall Jeffrey? Said you just go up with him and battle. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. By NFL Game Pass. Replay every game this season. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. What a night we had last night as the guest of our buddy Mark Gannis. John and I had a chance to go to Wrigley Field last night. Sit in great seats down the 3rd base line for Game 5 of the World Series at Wrigley Field. What a night that was.
What a night. Did you see Chapman throwing that weighted ball, getting loose, and then Joe Madden brought him in? He was throwing 102 miles an hour. That guy has some heat. That was a lot of fun being with the Cubs.
Spent a lot of time with you now since May. We all know, having watched you, you're a passionate, emotional guy. I don't know if I've ever seen you as excited. You were like a little kid at that game last night.
No penalty flags either. No instant replay challenges. I loved it.
I think that was your favorite part. Here comes Cordero Patterson. Vikings could use a big play from the special teams, and they don't get it, as he got plastered at the 15-yard line.
Look at this.
Christian Jones.
See, Chapman's down there. I know he was down there getting loose, and you were calling for the lefty. Yeah, I called for him a lot earlier than you did, but
I don't know if you could tell, but Joe Madden was looking down at me from this angle. From the dugout was over here, so he just wanted to know what we thought.
Looked like you're scared or something.
I was
scared of those Indian hitters,
photography
maybe.
skills.
That was a good time.
Woeful performance on offense for Minnesota, down 6-0. Here's Ronnie Hillman, the leading running back for Denver last year, part of their Super Bowl team. And he picked up about 5 on first down. Tracy Porter ran him out.
Well, Hillman had a 100-yard game last year against the Bears as a member of the Denver Broncos. And they need a big run from somebody. Adrian Peterson, known for making long runs. Those days are over, at least for now, and they need a big play from somebody.
Sam Bradford looked like he started to duck when there really wasn't anybody that close. It's a sack. Leonard Floyd, the rookie, you can see him getting better and better every week. Out of Georgia, he was the 9th player taken in this year's draft.
When you can get this kind of pressure with a 4-man rush, it allows you to do a lot of different things in the secondary. And there's Jake Long at left tackle struggling, and there's nowhere to go. Jake Long pressed into service. Remember, they started the season with Matt Khalil. They tried T.J. Clemmings. They made the emergency call to Long, and they're struggling in all phases.
Long's had knee trouble, played fewer than 20 snaps all of last season. Deep throw, nothing doing. Adam Thielen well covered by Devontae Bosby, who was just promoted for his first NFL action off the practice squad for the game a week ago Thursday night in Green Bay.
I like Bosby. He's out of Pittsburgh State. He's number 20. He's got length. And that's a good no call. Excellent coverage. I keep waiting for Laquan Treadwell, the number 1 pick of the Minnesota Vikings, to make his appearance, but so far no catches at all for the first rounder out of Ole Miss.
He's played very little. He is active tonight. 4th straight 3 and out, and another punt for Jeff Locke. Here's Trayvon LeBlanc. Popped as he got to the 43-yard line. Trey Waynes with Kentrell Brothers. Brothers, a rookie out of Missouri, active and seeing his first NFL action tonight. Time for tonight's Monday Night Lights. Saturday at the Bears practice facility in suburban Lake Forest, Illinois, USA football team with John Gruden to hold a football clinic for players from nearby Thornbridge and Waukegan high schools. And at the conclusion of the clinic, as he does every week, Coach Gruden made a $2,000 donation. And the Bears matched the donation to each of those schools.
That was awesome. The Bears came down and said, hey, we're matching it. Keep the game strong. Support youth sports. Support high school football. Keep the game strong. Love those kids.
After a 41-yard punt by Jeff Locke, a 13-yard return for Trayvon LeBlanc. Good field position. Chicago operating from the 43 of Minnesota. And Jordan Howard dropped immediately by Harrison Smith.
And Cameron Meredith, one of the things that he has to work on is his blocking. He's got to come in motion, recognize the safeties coming off the corner, and he's got to stick his face in there and sell out. That time, Harrison Smith just crossed his face and whipped Jordan Howard. Got to take care of the edges if you're a wide receiver.
Second and 10. Jordan Howard to the 41-yard line, taken down by Everson Griffin.
2 disappointing running plays with this great field position. 2 runs for 1 yard, and once again it's 3rd and long. Just watch what Jay Cutler has to go through when he breaks the huddle. Expect that double A package. Robinson, 96, is the joker. He's the chess piece that they move around, and he does a lot of communicating for Mike Zimmer's defense. Here they are.
Bunch to the right. They fake in that direction. A screen. Great call and executed for a first down. Howard battling for every inch. Gets near the 30-yard line.
Great call indeed. Free rusher on the right side of the screen. Daniil Hunter unblocked. And Cutler has the perfect play called. And Jordan Howard is getting it done as a receiver. That's the one thing I thought the Bears really missed. The receiving skills of Matt Forte. So far, Howard has really done a nice job.
He has 3 catches. He also has a 69-yard run that set up their first field goal. They're in field goal position again, already leading 6-0. Cutler, the quick pop to Zach Miller. And he's down at the 10-yard line. Jay Cutler, after 5 weeks out, sharp tonight.
That's a great call again by Dowell Loggins. It's a trap pass. They're going to pull the right guard, and they're going to fool Anthony Barr at linebacker and pop the ball to the tight end, Zach Miller, for a huge gain. They are mixing it up extremely well, and they are taking it to the Purple Rain defense big time. Can they finish a drive?
Logan Paulson, an extra tight end into the game, as is Ben Braunecker, the rookie out of Harvard, his first catch. And it's almost a touchdown, tripped up by Trey Waynes. First career catch for Ben Braunecker, the rookie out of Harvard.
What a great job they're doing, mixing their play selection up. There's Dowell Loggins in his first season as the Bears offensive coordinator. And how many adjustments has he had to make? He's used 3 quarterbacks. He's used a number of different receivers, different running backs, and in this goal line situation, Mitch Unrein, a defensive tackle, has checked in at fullback. Will they slam it at the Vikings?
They don't have a fullback on the roster. Unrein trying to lead the way. They might not need him. Touchdown, another great call by Dowell Loggins, and executed to perfection by the Chicago Bears.
They made everybody in the stadium think they were going to run an inside run behind their 300-pound defensive tackle. They made everybody think they're going to run it in here, and they tossed the ball and completely fooled the Minnesota Viking defense. Head coach Mike Zimmer was upset last week. He's got to be just as upset tonight, especially with his defense.
Connor Barth, the extra point try. Vikings had too many men on the field. They got the man off in time to avoid a penalty, and the extra point is good. Jordan Howard, the star of the night on offense so far for Chicago, and the Bears upset-minded, trying to get their second win of the season, lead 13-0. Jay Cutler on the sidelines, looking at the tablet, checking with the coaching staff. He's dealt with a lot of coaches during his time here in Chicago. In 8 years, he's seen many offensive coordinators come and go. Under head coach Lovie Smith, Jay worked with Ron Turner, Mike Martz, and Mike Tice as the coordinators. Only Martz was there for more than 1 year. Then when Mark Trestman was the head coach, Aaron Kromer, the offensive coordinator, for 2 years. Last year was Adam Gase. He left to go to Miami to be the head coach, so Dowell Loggins promoted. And I think that's a great move, John. A lot of continuity now. You know, Jay's had to deal with all these different systems and coaches. Now he gets to work for the second year in a row with a guy he really likes and respects. Jay told us he thinks the game plans are excellent from Dowell Loggins.
This is a very good offensive coaching staff, and he has a lot of confidence and respect for how hard they've worked, getting a lot of young players ready to play in a short period of time.
The kickoff returnable. Connor Barth sent it down near the goal line. Cordero Patterson weaves out to the 23-yard line. The ball came out, went forward, and it's recovered by Charles Johnson of Minnesota.
Minnesota just cannot get out of their own way right now, and they're fortunate here. This ball is clearly out. You see the strip.
Nick Kwiatkowski,
another draft choice of Ryan Pace out of West Virginia, strips that ball, and luckily for Minnesota, Charles Johnson's got it.
5 possessions, 5 punts. The last 4 3-and-outs. 51 yards of offense for Minnesota, 2 first downs midway through the second quarter. Sam Bradford short for Ronnie Hillman, swung down by Adrian Amos, second-year safety out of Penn State. The only player who started on opening day last year on defense who started in the same position this year on defense for Chicago. Lots of turnover as they get younger.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about the injuries that the Vikings have had. How about the injuries on this Bear football team? But it's good to see Pernell McPhee back out there. At the bottom of the screen, he's a power rusher. He's going after T.J. Clemmings. And Floyd at the top of the screen has been impressive again tonight.
On 2nd and 5, again a short throw. Bradford, there's the third first down of the night. It's Stephon Diggs out of bounds. Run out by Tracy Porter to the 42-yard line.
One of the things Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, does is he plays a bend but don't break defense with all these young Chicago Bears. He's going to make you possess the ball and complete passes, pass protect, avoid penalties. And so far, the Vikings have been unable to sustain anything, but it's a bend, don't break defense, and you're going to see a lot of that tonight.
After an 8-yard gain and a first down for Minnesota, Bradford's throw too high for Kyle Rudolph. Danny Trevathan had the coverage.
That's the first blitz I've seen tonight. Gravon LeBlanc going to come off the right side. Last week, the Philadelphia Eagles hurt Minnesota bad with perimeter blitzes. And Vic Fangio, the ex-coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, and his coaching staff deserve credit for getting it done with a lot of missing pieces.
Lots of injuries in the secondary in particular. Asiata outside the left. Across the 45, yanked down by Leonard Floyd.
I just think about Sam Bradford. When you get hit as many times as you got hit in Philadelphia and as hard as you got hit, it's hard to forget that. He's been knocked around a little bit today. He's got to get a good drop. He's got to get some pass protection where he can get through a progression and use all 5 of his eligibles. That's when he's at his best.
Well, he said, if I can get time, we think we can take advantage of that depleted Chicago secondary as Green Bay did a week and a half ago when they completed 39 passes. But he's under duress again. The ball is out. Right now, no whistles for an incompletion. Pernell McPhee knocked it out. Adam Thielen's on it. Now a very late flag thrown.
McPhee just crushed T.J. Clemmings with the power rush.
Just when you think it can't get much uglier on offense for Mike Zimmer and the Vikings, it does. Bradford hit as he wound up to throw. It was ruled a fumble. Recovered by Minnesota. And then a flag at the end of the play.
Well, Pernell McPhee is back.
The ruling on the field is that we have a backward pass that ends up moving forward and recovered by the offense. We also have unsportsmanlike contact, number 90 of the defense, for coming off of the bench and onto the field during the play. The 15-yard penalty is going to be added to the end of the run. First down, Minnesota.
What a horrible penalty on Cornelius Washington.
An interesting explanation. The backward pass that went forward. I'm still trying to figure that out. Well, he did come out on the field, and you can see the personnel on the Bears sideline knew it.
Sam Bradford gets punished. That was third down. It should be a punting situation. I have no idea what the penalty on Washington was.
He came out on the field. You saw the official there with the play still going on. Throw the flag. Big break for Minnesota in dire need of one. Bradford, his pass deflected, intended for Stephon Diggs, but Danny Trevathan got in the way, and he's looking at his hands as if he can't believe he didn't catch it.
Trevathan, the ex-Denver Bronco, played 3 years for John Fox in Denver. He's a very good linebacker. Timed his jump just perfectly, and the ex-Kentucky Wildcat still getting it done. A lot of perseverance in that man's tank. He's come back from a lot of injuries. Had a thumb problem that cost him a couple games earlier this season.
Approaching 5 minutes to go in the first half. Bradford Trying to set up a screen. The tight end, Kyle Rudolph. Walker's out in front, but he still tripped up short of the first down. Nice play by Harold Jones-Quartey.
And nice effort by Leonard Floyd. It's a sprint out pass to the right. They're going to throw a screen back to Kyle Rudolph, and watch Floyd 94 in hot pursuit. Good call. It sets up third short. And the playbook is wide open in these third down and short situations. Keep an eye on Rudolph at the top of the screen. He's the man in third down.
We are in field goal range for Blair Walsh. I wonder if this might be 4-down territory. Bradford throws, caught by Adam Thielen inside the 15-yard line with Devontae Bosby in coverage.
Great throw by Sam. Says a lot about the character of Sam Bradford. He gets thrown around, beat up early. Now he hangs in there, throws a bullet to Thielen for a huge first down. I love Thielen. He was our grinder a few weeks ago. Minnesota State, undrafted.
Worked his way up off the practice squad. Bradford to the far sideline. Kyle Rudolph taken out of bounds by Adrian Amos. This 13-point deficit, the largest the Vikings have faced in a first half this year. When we spoke with Sam Bradford last night, he said, we need to come out early and play with a lead. So important with the way they play, to play with the lead, but obviously that hasn't happened tonight.
You get a break, you get a penalty. It gives you an opportunity like this. Great way to change the momentum of this football game. Here comes the Wildcat.
Motion, usually it's Jarrett McKinnon, the former quarterback who runs the Wildcat. This time it's Matt Asiata. Very near a first down inside the 5-yard line as we tick down to 3 minutes to go in the first half.
When you play against Norv Turner, you got to prepare for a lot. Sam Bradford just motioned out from underneath center. They snapped the ball to Asiata with Rhett Ellison and Fusco pulling. It's a good north-south run. Short yardage. And the Bears have loaded up with big people. Will Sutton, 93. Akeem Hicks, 96.
And an official's timeout. Sam Bradford went over to speak with Gene Steratore. And the officials are talking about it. Well, Norv Turner, longtime offensive coordinator in the league, regarded as one of the best 15 years as a head coach, but he's struggling to find the right solutions to the problems so far.
Well, just hang in there. I call him ATG. That's what we refer to him as. Anything goes. You got to prepare for the quick game, screens, reverses, jet sweeps, unbalanced line. You just saw the Wildcat. You've seen him in the no huddle. Doesn't matter who you give him. He's going to get his group of players in a position to move the football. And right now in this short yardage situation, it'll be interesting to see what he calls. But Norv Turner, his experience with a quarterback that he just got at the beginning of the season, beat up offensive linemen, no Adrian Peterson. If they have a chance to move forward, they're going to have to find some offense, and Norv Turner's going to be a key player for the Vikings the second half of the season.
He might be ATG. I would argue that should be AG, Coach, not to quibble, but anything is one word.
I have a problem.
At least right now it's NW, nothing working for Minnesota. Asiata, did he get enough? Got very close to that yellow line before he got drilled and sent in reverse. Led by Danny Trevathan and Chris Brzezinski, a backup safety in there in short yardage, and we'll tick down to the 2-minute warning.
No idea who's blocking number 29, Harold Jones-Quartey, but that was a big hit.
Two-minute warning. They're going to measure. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. 2-minute warning here in Chicago. The Bears leading 13-0. John Fox has just challenged the ruling on the field. They measured while we were away, and it was a first down for Minnesota, but John thought it was a bad spot, so Gene Steratore is going over to take a look at it. the help from the folks in New York.
I think he's short, Sean. Jerry thinks he's short.
And Jerry is the ultimate authority when it comes to matters pertaining to officiating. So the 2-minute warning, and it's 13-0. And of course, this drive for Sam Bradford extended on a strange play when it looked like the Bears had stopped the Vikings again, but Chicago got called for unsportsmanlike conduct when one of their players, Cornelius Washington, ran out of the field while the play was still going on. You can see where they marked the ball. Looked like on the replay, Asiata came up, in my opinion, just short of the 3-yard line from where the ball is placed right now. It looked like they gave him the 3 and then maybe even a little bit more. Really little to lose if you're John Fox in terms of the challenge at this point. Here comes John Fox, and rather Gene Steratore, the referee. John Fox and Mike Zimmer awaiting the decision.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Minnesota. Chicago is charged with its first time out of the half. That is also Chicago's first challenge of the game. There you go.
It's just such a hard thing, John, in a replay to judge what the correct spot is.
Haven't really seen that play overturned often, but let's play some football here. Chicago should consider using a timeout to preserve time for Jay Cutler. The Bears have moved the ball themselves offensively. And last week in this goal-to-goal situation, Minnesota had a false start. They were unable to cash it in.
Early in the game, Bradford threw an interception in the end zone, really set the tone for the whole day in Philadelphia. 12th play of the drive, aided by that big penalty. Started at their own 29. Asiata battling for everything. Got a yard before he got sent back. Primary hit from Devontae Bosby, and he had plenty of help.
That's a job that none of my receivers ever volunteered for. Cordero Patterson comes in short motion and becomes a lead blocker on the goal line. I used to ask our receivers, which one of you guys wants to do this, and no one would raise their hand. And you can see why. Second down and goal.
They're going to stick with Asiata, and nothing doing. Into the pile and down to the line of scrimmage. Third down and goal as we approach a minute to go in the first half. Adrian Amos leading the defense.
Well, it's a one-back run, and they have a built-in RPO. He decides to hand it. They're outnumbered in the box. It sets up third down and goal, and I think the Bears have done quite well in this situation. They're willing to play man-to-man coverage. Bottom of the screen, it's Porter against Diggs in an open formation.
Empty backfield. They use it very little in Minnesota. And Bradford is sacked. Back at the 13-yard line by Akeem Hicks.
The Monsters are out tonight in Chicago. We challenged them in the pregame. They have got to get after the Vikings offensive line to have a chance. And you're going to see Akeem Hicks, who at times looks like a great defensive lineman, has played very well tonight. You get in the goal line situation, for years you're used to seeing Adrian Peterson pounded across the goal line. And now you see an open spread offensive system that is very, very hard to run the ball in these tight goal line situations. And that's just a horrible, horrible offensive set for Minnesota.
And you wonder why Minnesota called the timeout. They announced it was a Minnesota timeout, and if that's true, they've left a little time on the clock there for Chicago as Blair Walsh kicks a 30-yard field goal to get the Vikings on the board. Big sack for Hakeem Hicks. Hakeem with the 4th sack of the night for Chicago. Back in Chicago, where Minnesota had the ball for more than 7 minutes, they settled for a 30-yard field goal. Bogged down after 1st and goal at the 3, reminiscent of the early stages of their loss last week in Philadelphia. Big sack by Hakeem Hicks. Now the University of Regina in Canada. Deep kick by Walsh and a knee taken by Deontay Thompson. 25 seconds away from the Toyota halftime. Chris Berman will have his final drive. Among the topics, Tom Brady and Derek Carr, 2 leading candidates for NFL MVP honors to this point of the season. The First Take crew will have their take on Cam Newton's post-game comments about all the hits that he's been taking. And Kirk Herbstreit, who stopped by to talk college football. The first college football playoff rankings will come out Tuesday night at 7 on ESPN. Chicago on the ground with Jordan Howard, and neither team is going to stop the clock, it seems. And now there is a whistle. Both teams on the field had started toward the locker rooms. But John Fox has called timeout. Timeout left for Chicago. They put a couple of seconds back on the clock. 17 seconds till halftime. They're hoping Howard can pop another long one. He's into the secondary. Harrison Smith, Linval Joseph finally wrestled him down. John Fox will use his last timeout with 9 seconds to go. And impressive first half for Jordan Howard, the rookie running back who started his career at UAB. When they dropped football, he went to Indiana and was first team all Big Ten last year, averaged 135 yards per game rushing. And in less than a half, he's already put up the most yards from scrimmage of any player against the Vikings this year, and he has another half of football still to go.
Prevent defense for the Vikings. Going to defend the sideline. Look at Rhodes at the bottom of the screen. Newman at the top of the screen. Just keep the ball in play.
And you wonder if they'd be out here were it not for the call timeout by Mike Zimmer just before they kicked the field goal. It's helped give Chicago this chance. Just a 3-man rush over the middle. Zach Miller, can he get out of bounds? He's trying desperately, and he's out with 1 second left. It would be about a 60-yard field goal from here, or they can opt to have Jay Cutler throw a Hail Mary.
Middle screen, a design block screen, and Rhodes at the bottom of the screen failed to keep Miller in bounds. And with the arm strength of Jay Cutler and the catch radius of Alshon Jeffrey, why not?
Too long to try the field goal. It'll be almost 60 yards into the breeze. Barth's long is 57. That was in the altitude of Denver. Cutler has time, throws it up into that breeze. Big crowd down there, and it's batted down. Xavier Rhodes, the man in the right spot for Minnesota. Coming up next, the Toyota halftime. Chicago leads the Vikings 13-3, and the Bears will get the ball to start the second half. Now here's Chris. Welcome back to Chicago Soldier Field. Chicago Bears upset-minded tonight. They're 1-6, hosting the 5-1 Minnesota Vikings. But it was Chicago that looked like the 5-1 team in the first half. They lead 13-3 as we head for the third quarter. Sean McDonough and John Gruden. More of the same for the Minnesota Vikings on offense. They have a defense, you would think, John, good enough to perhaps win the Super Bowl, but you wonder if that's even possible with the way this offense has played the last couple weeks.
Well, they can't run the ball, and they can't protect the passer, and their defense wasn't really good either, but the pass protection is what has me concerned the most.
Let's take a look at tonight's Kay Jewelers' brilliant moments.
We'll take a look at it. The monsters of the Midway. Leonard Floyd beats Jake Long early in the game on an inside move for a sack. 1 of 4 in the first half. Pernell McPhee, welcome back to Chicago with a power rush against T.J. Clemmings. Down goes Bradford, and Joe Berger gets beat by Hicks, I should say, and it hasn't been pretty at all. And if I'm Chicago, I'm going to stay on the gas pedal, continue to rev up the pass rush. Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings, has to consider some lineup changes. Jeremiah Searles, number 78, has been playing some at right tackle. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple new faces up front for Minnesota.
It'll be Chicago to get the ball first to begin the second half. Sam Bradford will have to wait as Blair Walsh kicks off. Deontay Thompson back deep. Touchback, the ball to the 25. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, John Fox told us before the game that he really thought that Jay Cutler would come out here in his first game back and really play well with the chip on his shoulder. And Fox just said the same thing to me right now. He said Cutler is really inspiring the team, and guys are playing hard for him right now. But he said, I'm not surprised because our guys have really played with a lot of heart all season. As for the Vikings, struggling again on offense so far tonight, Mike Zimmer said that every time we seem to make some plays, we seem to sputter. He said, but I just have a feeling we're going to be okay, and I'm going to make sure the guys know that in the locker room. Just come out, keep fighting. Sean?
All right, Lisa. Pistol formation for Jay Cutler on the first play from scrimmage of the second half. Play fake to Jordan Howard. Harrison Smith, the safety, was up in Cutler's face. Logan Paulson, the tight end, finally taken down after a 5-yard gain. Eric Kendricks and Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith ran back to be involved in the tackle after putting the pressure on Cutler.
Very important for this Viking defense to get a 3-and-out stop. They must create field position for their offense. They came in here creating turnovers. They got 16 of those, 9 interceptions, 7 fumble recoveries. The best way to help your offense is to do it with your defense.
Pistol again. Jordan Howard, who had a big first half. How big, you're wondering? We mentioned already more yards from scrimmage against the Vikings than any player in the full game this year. And it's the most by a Bears rookie in a half since 1981. Marcus Anderson played 1 year in the league as a wide receiver at 148 yards in the first half on Monday night against Detroit.
And Kadeem Carey, Kadeem Carey checks in his place, and it looks like the clock stoppage here.
Mike Zimmer challenging something here. There's Chad Greenway on the field.
Minnesota is challenging the ruling of the field that the runner was down by contact. Timeout.
As we go to break, let's take a look. They'll take other looks during the break. Well, Mike Zimmer and the Vikings think that Jordan Howard fumbled before he was down. Eric Kendricks did come away with the ball for Minnesota at the very end of the play, but the ruling on the field was that Howard was down by contact. And Gene Steratore is still over under the hood, chatting with Dean Blandino and the folks in New York. His knee's down. He still has the ball. I think that play is going to stand his call. John, not a fumble. Would you agree?
I would agree, but I'm 0 for 1 tonight, Sean. Jerry's 0 for 1 too. Unfortunately for him, his microphone isn't working and can't defend himself. I think this is going to be a play that stands, but we will see.
Mike Zimmer, desperate for anything at this point to do something that might lead to points for his team. It's a homecoming for Mike Zimmer, Illinois native, born in Peoria, and grew up right down the road in Lockport in the Chicago suburbs. Son of a coach. His dad, Bill, very successful football and wrestling coach. He's in both Illinois Halls of Fame for
After
high school
review,
coaches.
the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner's knee was down with possession of the ball. Minnesota will be charged with its first time out of the half. That is also Minnesota's first challenge of the game.
1 for 2 now tonight. And on 3rd down and 5, let's get back to this Viking defense. They have gotten to this point 5-1 with their defense. They lead the league in turnover ratio. They have intercepted passes. They force fumbles. They need something from their defense to set their offense up with field position.
Perhaps an interception. 9 straight games with one for Minnesota, by far the longest current streak in the league. No other team has more than 3 games in a row with an interception. Time for Jay Cutlers. Steps into a long throw. Looked like Jeffrey got away with a push-off on Xavier Rhodes. First down into Minnesota territory down at the 36-yard line.
That's what Chicago needed. Go to your best receiver against their best corner. And Cutler loves to throw. Jump ball flies to Alshon Jeffrey. Look at that catch radius. Great throw by Cutler. He has a cannon for an arm.
And the first catch for Jeffrey, good for 34 yards. Play fade. Cutler forced to retreat. Throws incomplete. He got hit as he threw it, and Zach Miller, the intended receiver, stumbled a bit as he tried to run under that pass.
That pass rush saved Minnesota. Linval, Joseph, and friends get to Cutler early. He's got Zach Miller wide open. Nothing Jay Cutler can do here. Right out of the fake, he's under serious pressure from Linval Joseph, taking advantage of 2 backup offensive guards. Remember, Josh Sitton is out at left guard. Kyle Long is out at right guard. Time for the big man, number 98, to take this game over if Minnesota's going to get back in it.
His teammates talk about Joseph as the strongest man they've ever seen on a football field. He pushes the pocket back. The pass almost intercepted by Xavier Rhodes as he had the coverage again, this time on Josh Bellamy.
And another injury on this Bears offensive line. Looks like Charles Leno getting up slowly. Looks like he's okay, but 2 back-to-back very good pass rush downs by this Viking defense. Keep an eye on Jeremy Langford, number 33, who's just checked in as a running back. He's going to have to pick up a blitz or help in protection in this situation. He got beat up earlier in the first half.
They protected Cutler very well tonight with this patchwork offensive line. No sacks allowed by Chicago. And Cutler, time to throw it down the field for Jeremy Langford, who has a first down. Lunging for the 25-yard line, Anthony Barr made the tackle.
That's what they need. They need their backs to make a much bigger contribution in the passing game. Just a little option route by Jeremy Langford. Pressure by Brian Robinson in Cutler's face. Jay Cutler has made some great throws tonight. That one under intense pressure, and it sets up Chicago with a first down right outside the 20.
One out wide for Alshon Jeffrey. Rhodes there for the tackle at the 18-yard line. 3 minutes into the third quarter. Chicago poised to add to a 13-3 lead.
Take a look at some of these throws by Jay Cutler tonight. There's nothing wrong with his arm. He throws a rocket to Cameron Meredith for a big first down. He gets out of trouble, flips the ball to Jordan Howard for a huge play. And he does a nice job inviting the rush on a screen pass, a trap pass to Zach Miller. Done a beautiful job tonight moving this offense against the top-rated defense in pro football.
Kadeem Carey into the pile, surges ahead for a yard.
Ran that play right into a strong safety blitz. And Harrison Smith, no doubt, heading back to the Pro Bowl. is a man that they like to use off the edge in these run-down situations. 3rd and short. Jordan Howard back into the game. It's going to be a man-to-man situation. And it's Rhodes at the bottom of the screen working against Jeffrey once again. On 3rd and 2.
Toss to Jordan Howard trying to turn the corner. First down.
That's an NFL run by the rookie. You're running a toss sweep. You're running east and west. You got to know how to get those shoulder pads north and south and finish the run and bang forward for the first down. Impressive by the big back out of Indiana. What a story he is.
It's another 100-yard rushing game for Howard. Rhodes got up very slowly, and now he is limping off the field. That would be an enormous loss for the Minnesota defense. Already playing without one of their starting safeties tonight, Andrew Sendejo. They've been alternating J-Ron Curse and Anthony Harris, a couple of young players in his spot.
And Trey Waynes, second-year man out of Michigan State, checks into the lineup. He's had his problems this year with pass interference. Waynes, number 26.
He certainly had an up-and-down year. They have 15 first-round picks on their roster. 11 of them drafted by Minnesota. 4 were first-round picks elsewhere. Now members of the Vikings. That is a lot of first-round picks. Bears have just 3 on their team. Chicago 3 out of 3 on 3rd down in this drive. That looked like a bit of a busted play, and it's thrown away by Jay Cutler in the general direction of Logan Paulson.
Good discipline by Brian Robinson, a 10th-year man out of Texas. It's a bootleg. You got to make sure you contain the quarterback. And Robinson, who does a lot of dirty work for this defense.
How about what he told us yesterday? You see him so often listening while the quarterback is calling the signals. He said usually by the 2nd or 3rd possession, he thinks he has figured out the terminology for the protections that the other team is going to use, and then they have that all night long. Probably not the case tonight. They haven't sacked Cutler. He throws a touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey with his first touchdown of the season, and they went after the new man into the game, Trey Waynes.
That's a tough play to stop. Jay Cutler kept that ball in the running back's chest a long time. He eliminated the underneath coverage in a delay slant route by Jeffrey, and they burned the 2nd-year man from Michigan State. But it's the ball handling that eliminated the underneath coverage, and give Jay Cutler and offensive coordinator Dowell Loggins a lot of credit. They have moved the ball consistently up and down the field over 300 yards against this Viking defense.
Which came in averaging 280 yards per game allowed. 75-yard drive, took more than 5 minutes off the clock. The extra point good by Connor Barth. Terrific return to action for Jay Cutler. And it's 20-3, Chicago. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. By Gillette Pro Shield with lubrication before and after the blades, shields while you shave. Tonight at halftime, great ceremony. Bears greats, Hall of Famers Dan Hampton, Richard Dent, Dick Butkus, Gale Sayers, honored by the Pro Football Hall of Fame with a ring of excellence. Ring that was redesigned by Kay Jewelers in 2013 and will be presented to all living members of the Hall of Fame at special ceremonies across NFL stadiums, including here at Soldier Field tonight. Connor Barth kicks off another touchback, and Minnesota will begin at the 25, down 20-3.
Let's go back and look at this touchdown, Sean, with a total replay. I love this. The ball handling is going to fool Harrison Smith. You eliminate the underneath coverage, and Jay Cutler throws a beautiful delay slant to Alshon Jeffrey. Just that hesitation allowed the ball handling to take place. Excellent work by Cutler, selling the run and throwing a beautiful tight window slant to Jeffrey. I love that combination. That's Jeffrey's first touchdown. Well done.
Toss to Ronnie Hillman trying to get outside. Trayvon LeBlanc, the tackle, 6-yard gain for Minnesota. That really counts as a big gainer for their running game. They have 6 runs this year, Coach, of 10 yards or fewer, by far the fewest in the National Football League. And as Norv Turner said last night, even though Adrian Peterson struggled at the beginning of the season before he got hurt, usually he's good for 2 or 3 explosive runs per game. Now they can't get one from anybody. Bradford on target. Stephon Diggs looked like he had enough for the first down, and it is spotted there before Tracy Porter sent him back. Here's Lisa.
Yeah, Sean, I was talking to Vikings head athletic trainer Eric Sherman today to give me an update on Adrian Peterson. He said on Thursday he will be 6 weeks post-surgery. He's following his rehab schedule, doing well. He said he's able to do more range of motion work, has increased his exercises to another level since the last time we saw the Vikings in week 4. He said it's still going to be a while before it's safe for him to run. So timetable, I said mid-November, mid-December. He said there really is no timetable. When we think it's safe for him to be back on the field, we'll get him out there.
Meanwhile, it's Ronnie Hillman, one of the replacements for Peterson. On first down, got very little. Will Sutton, backup defensive lineman, third-year man out of Arizona State, made the tackle.
Adrian Peterson ran the ball 31 times, I think, this year for the Vikings for 50 yards. I don't even know if Adrian Peterson is going to make yardage behind this kind of blocking. They have not created running lanes for anybody to run through. Second and long. Can they pass protect?
They did. The offensive line was a problem entering the year. They went out and signed free agents Andre Smith and Alex Boone. Flag down. Very blatant holding call upcoming here against Jake Long. The pass in the general direction of Ronnie Hillman looked like a throwaway from Bradford.
Not even close.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Called it on Clemmings. Jake Long knows he held too. Both these tackles struggling. Clemens was a right tackle last year. Moved him to left tackle. Now he's back at right tackle. He's working on the right side. He gets beat by Willie Young and tackles him. Both tackles struggling in pass protection, and I would not want to be Sam Bradford. Look for a quick screen or some kind of screen.
Take the screen one way, and then his pass in the other direction is batted down by Willie Young.
Well, they fake the quick screen and they run a slow screen the other way, and Willie Young was off to the races. And Sam Bradford, who's been hurt a lot in his career, continues to take severe punishment. Fake it to the left, throw it to the right. It's no fun playing quarterback. Watch out for Patterson at the top of the screen. He's the one man that can change a game with his speed.
Minnesota 2 for 9 on third down, and this is 3rd and 18. They do get it to Patterson with some blockers out ahead of him, but he's down well short of the first down at the 36. Jarrell Freeman, the former Indianapolis Colt, made the tackle.
Just no time for anything. You commit a penalty, you can't run the ball, back-to-back screen passes, and it's almost as if the Vikings don't create turnovers and score with their defense. They're going to have a hard time all year moving the ball with this offense, the way the line is playing.
It's been a pretty consistent theme around the league. A lot of offensive lines we've seen, both in person and on tape, this year have struggled. Jeff Locke punt taken by Trayvon LeBlanc. He's down at the 27-yard line. It's been the Bears and not the Vikings who have put the pressure on the opposing quarterback tonight. A lot of attention, obviously, this weekend on Wrigley Field, the former home of the Chicago Bears. They had a lot of success there under George Halas. Played there from 1921 to 1970. Won 4 NFL championship games, played at Wrigley Field, that venue home to Bears greats like Red Grange and Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers. Butkus and Sayers here tonight. They won their last championship there in 1963 when they picked off Y.A. Tittle 5 times, won the NFL championship game. There are more Bears in the Hall of Fame than any other team.
How about that draft in 1965? You get Butkus with the 3rd overall pick, and then you get Gale Sayers, number 4.
That'll work.
That'll work.
Jay Cutler under center now. Running away from the rush of Everson Griffin and runs out of bounds. Picked up a yard, perhaps a yard and a half.
But it's an element that the Bears have been missing. Brian Hoyer, who played very well, had 4 300-yard passing games while Cutler was out, just not known for his scrambling ability, and Cutler has had to use that movement in the pocket several times tonight.
They went 1-4 while Hoyer was in there, despite his big numbers. First Bears quarterback ever to throw for 300 yards in 4 straight games. But there was starting to be a debate about whether Cutler would be the quarterback when he came back healthy. Jordan Howard runs ahead. Of course, it was a moot point when Hoyer got hurt in the last game at Green Bay and Cutler was ready to come back after missing 5 games. But when Jay was asked about it, he said, well, John Fox has no choice. Brian Hoyer's not healthy, so I have to play. But when we asked Jay about it the other day, he said he had been told all along by Fox and Dowell Loggins, when you're healthy, you're going to go back and be the quarterback.
His 100th start tonight, and he has made his presence felt.
50 and 49 as the Chicago quarterback. Their all-time leader in every major passing category. Completions, attempts, yards, touchdown passes. He throws over the middle to Zach Miller. First down into Minnesota territory.
Watch Jay Cutler in the pocket. Everson Griffin screaming around the left side. Cutler shows no panic, but he moves subtly in the pocket, keeps the ball in a throwing position, and throws a quick strike to Miller for a huge first down. Hard to throw the ball with that kind of location and velocity with your feet all over the place. What an arm talent Jay Cutler has. Nobody has disputed that.
17-yard completion for the 5th catch of the night for Zach Miller.
Hang on. 2-2.
Now the I formation with Miller in the backfield. The ball bobbled by Jordan Howard, and it's a 1-yard loss. John, the question I would have, and I think a lot of the viewers would have as they watch tonight, and they've watched Jay Cutler play a lot over the years, you see the talent, you see the athleticism, but you also see that record, 500 for his career here, 1 game over, but for his career 2 under, including his time in Denver. Why hasn't he been able to do it more consistently?
Well, he's got to answer the questions for that, but you got to look at his record, at the Bears' record without Jay Cutler. I mean, they're 6-14 when he doesn't play. He's had a lot of continuity issues here at head coach, offensive coordinator. He has been up and down, helter-skelter in his play, but he hasn't had the best protection throughout his day here either.
Everson Griffin leading the way on the first sack in the last 2 games for Minnesota. They didn't have any in Philadelphia last week, and now they have 1 tonight against Cutler.
Griffin. He's a grinder. He's done it the hard way. Played special teams for a while and has worked himself into a top-flight pass rusher. Got to be real careful on 3rd and extra with a 17-point lead if you're the Bears.
Pro Bowler a year ago. 27.5 sacks now over the last 3 seasons for Griffin. Howard bounces off 1 hit from Robinson and gets run down by Everson Griffin. Terrific athlete at 273 pounds. A couple years ago, he was the gunner running down, covering punts from the outside.
Effort. Rush the passer, rush the passer. You see the ball thrown. Go make the tackle. Minnesota surrounded with high effort, high football character players, and it gives you a chance to make a comeback. Effort like that.
And they're running out of time in a fast-moving third quarter. Under 3 minutes to go as Chicago's held the ball for a lot of the quarter. Pat O'Donnell punts. Fair catch signaled by Adam Thielen and made near the 13-yard line. 43-yard punt. And a timeout with Chicago comfortably on top. The last appearance for the Chicago Bears on Halloween night on Monday Night Football was in 1994. They hosted the Green Bay Packers and a very young assistant coach by the name of John Gruden.
It was a torrential downpour. Mike Holmgren was the head coach, and Andy Reid and Steve Mariucci, we used to all try to get plays in the game plan. Mariucci always got him in there. Andy Reid got plays in the game plan. They always made fun of me. But one night on Halloween night, 1994, I got a play in the game plan, and Mike Holmgren called it. And it was a torrential downpour. It was red left, fake box three, naked right fullback slide, and off Brett Favre went on the longest touchdown run of his career, 36 yards. We win the game. Watch, you're going to see me on the sidelines. Favre ran right by me to go see Mariucci and Reid. Look at me right there. He runs right by me. That was my play. And on the plane, Holmgren calls me to the front of the plane. He goes, "You're getting a game ball." That was a great play. I walked back to my seat and I told Andy Reid, "Game ball." My first game ball as an NFL coach right here, Halloween night.
Sam Bradford, he needs some young assistant to dial up a good play for him right now. Stephon Diggs gang tackled just shy of the 20-yard line. I think you're being modest because you actually got two plays in that game that worked, did you not?
I did get two. I don't have time to show you the other one, but that was my first game ball. I have been traded. I've been fired. I've been through a lot in my career. But that was a great night. I love Halloween.
And Halloween Eve. Now you've been to a World Series game as well. Bradford throws. Adam Thielen taken down by Devontae Bosby.
This is where, excuse me, Sean, this is where I want to see Hicks, 96. I want to see Hicks take over the game. You have them behind in the scoreboard. You got them in a predictable situation. You played extremely well tonight. Close them out. Acho, who's just checked into rush as a fresh pass rusher at the top of the screen. You got to close them out.
Matt Asiata. Everything he could for a 4-yard gain. Jarrell Freeman threw him down. Are you surprised, John, that Minnesota is not picking up the pace here? They're down by 3 scores. We're under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I am very surprised.
I mean, absolutely no urgency here in the operation on offense for Mike Zimmer. They started 5-0. They were the last team to lose a game in the NFL. Started the night of one of 3 one-loss teams with New England and Dallas. They're on the verge of loss number 2 unless they can pick it up in a hurry. Good throw across his body. Bradford to Kyle Rudolph. And Cravon LeBlanc made the tackle. 11-yard gain. And if they go to 5-2, they don't have to look very far to find the Packers and the Lions, now 4-4. And I was very surprised by the optimism level of the Chicago Bears at 1-6. They were talking about going on a big winning tear in the second half of the season. They think they have the talent to do it. McPhee got his hands on Bradford, knocked him down after the incomplete pass.
P.J. Clemmings can't block Burnell McPhee. McPhee comes flying off the right side. And Clemmings struggling big time.
Well, Rick Spielman, the Vikings general manager, been known to make moves, most notably when got Sam Bradford when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. They got Bradford 8 days before opening day. The trade deadline's tomorrow. Everybody keeps talking about Joe Thomas, the great tackle for Cleveland. Would he be available to trade? The Browns say no, but if there was ever a team that could use another really good offensive lineman, it's this one and several others. Asiata, another short run. Jonathan Bullard made the tackle and through 3 quarters. Unless they snap it quickly, and they're not in any big hurry to do that, it's going to be a very unhappy homecoming to Chicago for Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings. 20-3 Chicago as we head to the fourth. Through three quarters, the Minnesota Vikings have 3 points. They have 147 yards of offense. Jordan Howard, the rookie running back for Chicago, has outgained Minnesota by himself. He has 156 total yards. 3rd down and 7 for Minnesota. The Vikings at their own 44. First play of the fourth quarter. Bradford to Asiata and taken out of bounds short of the first down by about a yard by Danny Trevathan.
And I think the Vikings have to go for it. Excellent throw. Trevathan had great coverage, and Sam put that ball in there perfectly. Here comes Unrein and Hicks. 4th down and short.
Bradford short pass to Rudolph, and he has the first down, tackled by Adrian Amos.
Rudolph just comes across in motion, runs a flat route. Sam Bradford is on the money. 2 short passes, but the ball location gets it done, and it sets Sam up with a first down at midfield.
5 catches for Rudolph tonight. Bradford got away from the traffic, and then his pass a little too hot to handle for Matt Asiata.
They're missing Jerick McKinnon, who's a good receiving back. Asiata more of a downhill runner. But again, the pass rush, it just doesn't give Bradford time to get back there and set up and survey the defense. He's under duress almost every single time he throws the ball.
Try to run again. Asiata weaves his way down to the 43-yard line, perhaps the 42. Mitch Unrein made the tackle.
Vikings taking their time. Play selection. Very important, obviously.
Yeah, I still am puzzled by the pace at which they're getting these plays off. A little quicker out of the huddle this time. 3rd down 5. You'd think 4 down territory the rest of the way here. Down by 17 points. 4-man rush. Floyd. And help comes to Floyd for a sack for Akeem Hicks.
Well, it's this pressure by Floyd that forces Bradford up in the pocket, and there's just nowhere to go. Speed rush out here, and Sam has to step right up into the rush. You see Long working against Floyd. Sam steps up, and there's the big man Hicks, who has had an outstanding game for the Bear defense.
Got a circuitous route to get to this point. Was highly recruited, went to LSU. There was a recruiting issue there. He was not eligible to play. Worked for almost a year at a DirecTV call center in Colorado while he was living with a sister who lived in Colorado. Fair catch signal made by Trayvon LeBlanc on the lock punt. Finally, he got a call from a coach at the University of Regina in Canada. Come play for us. That resurrected his football career, and he's now a very important member of the Chicago Bears, leading 20-3. Back in Chicago, a quarterback comparison of the big number that jumps out. The 5-time sack for Sam Bradford on top of the 6 a week ago. Mike Zimmer, after that game, called his offensive line soft. When we talked with him last night, Coach, you got the sense that he regretted that a little bit. He said, the players know me. I tend to speak my mind. They know it wasn't personal. He said, I really wasn't saying they were soft as players. I was saying the protection as a whole was soft. But if he thought last week was soft, this isn't any better.
And his quarterback has no mobility, and Jay Cutler does. That, too, is obvious.
Minnesota had the ball for 11 plays, almost 5 minutes, did not score. Here's Jordan Howard, the rookie, with his 3rd career 100-yard rushing game tonight. Eric Kendricks made the tackle.
Bears are going to try to run the ball, obviously, and they have to keep an eye on Harrison Smith of the Vikings. We used to tell our linemen, be alert for a stinger call. What is a stinger? A stinger is a strong safety blitz. And in these situations, Mike Zimmer loves to bring Harrison Smith off the edge to try to cause a negative play in a running game. And keep an eye on him, number 22. Pro Bowl safety out of Notre Dame.
Howard. And it appeared for a minute of the first down, but it looks like the official on the far sideline is going to mark him just short. The last Bears rookie running back to have 3 100-yard games in a season, Matt Forte, now with the Jets. That was in 2008, one of the most productive backs in the history of the Chicago Bears.
And he's doing it tonight against an outstanding defense with a rookie center, 2 backup guards. It's impressive what the Bears have done as a unit.
Jay Cutlers said, I have faith in Ted Larson, Derek Cush, veterans who've been around. Backups this year before Long and Sidden got hurt. Again on the move. Good throw by Cutler, and a first down to Alshon Jeffrey.
Well, Cutler's athleticism is the winning edge. He's going to run a sprint out to his right. Nothing's there, but he buys time. He keeps his eyes downfield and throws a beautiful pass away from the coverage for a huge first down, and the clock continues to roll.
How about the emotion tonight? They're 1-6. When we spoke with Akeem Hicks and Willie Young, 2 defensive players yesterday, they said they're excited about the return of Jay Cutler. And they acknowledged he's not the most emotional, energetic guy. And I think that's one of the reasons why sometimes people are so critical of him. It seems like he's disinterested from time to time. Fully engaged tonight, on target again to Zach Miller. And a thumbs up for a 7-yard gain. Linval Joseph put the pop on Zach Miller.
And he had Deontay Thompson running deep with protection. I thought he was going to take a shot, but Thompson running clean. But he's taking the high percentage play tonight, given the situation. He knows the only way the Vikings can get back in this game is by a turnover. Use all the clock. Remind everybody that touches it to protect the ball.
Howard again, just 21 years old. He'll be 22 on Wednesday if you want to send him a card. He's back to the line of scrimmage.
Good job by Jay Cutler. He saw Harrison Smith on that stinger. He tried to get in his way. Cutler even tried to throw a block that time.
Again, you like the preparedness. We talked at the top of the telecast about what would the game plan be. Dow Loggins has done a very nice job, just 35 years old, as the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. He knew Mike Zimmer poses a lot of problems with all the wrinkles that the defense brings from Minnesota. But the Bears have had the answers tonight. Miller. Wonder if they're going to count that as a drop. You saw the note. He had the longest dropless streak in the NFL, 102 passes, which goes all the way back to 2010 because he missed 3 full seasons, mostly due to injury. That stat was on target drops, and if that's deemed to be on target, it's a drop.
It's going to be no gain anyhow. Eric Kendricks read that. Here's Stephon Diggs. Can their special teams create some field position?
Even they've been uncharacteristically down the last couple of weeks. They allowed a kickoff return last week against Philadelphia. Sherrill's fumbled a punt. He's out tonight. Stephon Diggs tackled. Excellent coverage by the Chicago Bears. 20-3. Another chance for Bradford with under 9 minutes to go. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Burger King. Now you can get 2 delicious Whopper meals for just $10 only at Burger King. And by NFLshop.com. Get free shipping on orders today at the official store of the NFL. Aerial coverage tonight at Soldier Field from Skycam. Brought to you by American Express. 53-yard punt, a good one by Pat O'Donnell and well covered by Sherrick McManus. From the 17-yard line, 8:51 to go. 2 timeouts for Minnesota, down by 17. 3 scores over the middle. Asiata bobbled it. It was almost intercepted by Danny Trevathan. And Alex Boone, starting left guard in his first season with the Vikings, came over as a free agent from the 49ers, going to the locker room.
Jeremiah Searles checks in. Searles has played both tackle and guard, and this Viking offensive line been overhauled. They brought in Tony Sperano, a new line coach, several new linemen. It just hasn't come together for a lot of reasons.
Matt Khalil started every game at left tackle the last 4 years. He's out after hip surgery. Asiata, after Bradford rolled all the way to the far sideline. And that Asiata runs all the way out near the 50-yard line with 8.5 minutes to go. Run down by Harold Jones-Quartet.
That's what they're going to need. They're going to need the quarterback to make some unscripted plays. Bradford in trouble. And you see Trevathan drop his coverage in pursuit of Bradford, and Asiata makes a great play. Here comes the Vikings.
And the throw caught by Stephon Diggs into Chicago territory. They'll give him forward progress to the 45-yard line. It'll be second down, about 2.5.
Got to keep an eye on Bradford. Remember, he's new to this offense, hasn't had a lot of 2-minute situations live under his belt, but he's got to get it moving and communicate non-verbally in a hurry.
Jeremiah Searles playing left guard now for Boone. Diggs out of bounds, pulled across the boundary by Tracy Porter.
Let's see Sam Bradford communicate what plays, what formations that he wants. I'm shocked they're in the huddle right here. I was hoping to see Bradford jump the ball and speed this up, but clearly his inexperience in this system is a factor.
Yeah, it really looks like the fight has gone out of them in a lot of ways. The pace at which they're operating. Bradford dumps it off for Hillman. Jarrell Freeman made the tackle. Chicago trying to end a long negative streak. They've allowed at least 1 touchdown in each of their last 66 games, and that is the longest such streak in the NFL. The last time they held a team without a touchdown was October of 2012 when they won 41-3 in Jacksonville. That was the final year of the Lovie Smith administration.
Bears got to win a home game. That would be a huge boost to this franchise if they can address their issues at home. So far, so good.
8:51 to go here at Soldier Field. Chicago leading 20-3. Tracy Porter, the veteran cornerback, limped off the field. They're already ravaged by injuries in their secondary. You wouldn't know it tonight. Minnesota has just 3 points. But Darrell Patterson the catch, and enough for the first down to the 29-yard line.
That's one of my favorite players that I've seen this year. His name is Crevon LeBlanc. They picked him up from the Patriots. He's played the nickel corner. He's come in here and he's played right corner with all the injuries, and John Fox likes him
a lot. We got a good look at LeBlanc over the summer. Diggs the catch. The Patriots and the Bears did joint practices together for a few days, and LeBlanc got the Bears coaching staff's attention. John told us we were actually thinking about trying to trade for him because we knew he probably wouldn't make the Patriots team. He got let go by New England on the last cutdown, and they pounced on him quickly, and he's a very important player. 22-year-old rookie out of Florida Atlantic.
Oh, boy.
Bradford. Whoa. Over the head of Hillman.
If you look at Vic Fangio, Ed Donatel, the secondary coach, you're going to see the pass rush here quickly get in on Bradford. But if you look at the secondary of the Chicago Bears right now, they're playing with number 20, Devontae Bosby at left corner. Their right corner is Crevon LeBlanc. Maurice Hurst is off the practice squad, number 30. And at safety, Amos is in his second year, as is Harold Jones-Quartet. What a job they've done tonight throttling the Vikings.
Vic Fangio very highly regarded, and the pass batted down. Sam Bradford incomplete. John, this Chicago defense does not have a single former Pro Bowl selection in the group. Chicago is the only NFL team that does not have at least one player on the defense who's been in at least one Pro Bowl.
Well, that's something that's unheard of because everybody makes the Pro Bowl now. They're going to have some candidates, though. They've got some young players that are humming tonight.
Vic Fangio deserves a lot of credit. This is a very well prepared and energetic 1-6 Chicago team tonight. Floyd with the rush didn't get there, and it's a touchdown to Stephon Diggs. So that's 67 straight games in which the Bears have given up a touchdown, and hope is still alive on the Minnesota sideline. They're down 20-9.
Well, Bradford got protection, and they were able to go after Bosby with their best receiver, Stephon Diggs. Good pass protection. It's a stunt, and Sam can step up and finish on his front foot. Beautiful throw, and Diggs beats Bosby to the post. Ball game.
Second touchdown catch of the year for Diggs, 6th of his career. And 4 of them have come against the Chicago Bears. 83 yards in 10 plays, 310 for the scoring drive, the first touchdown of the night for the Vikings. Next week, Monday Night Football comes to you from Seattle as the Seahawks host the Buffalo Bills at 8:15 Eastern Time. Coverage starts at 6 with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Catch all the action on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN. 5:41 to go here in Chicago. The Bears now leading 20-10. Blair Walsh to kick off. Chicago anticipating an onside kick with the hands unit out there. And he kicks it down to the 8-yard line. Deontay Thompson takes a knee. No blocking help, so he surrenders at the 15-yard line. Good night for Jay Cutler and the Bears. Done at John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Rothman, director Chip Dean, our terrific Monday Night Football crew. With you from Soldier Field in Chicago. Vikings just scored on 4th down and 4 on a 25-yard touchdown pass. Sam Bradford to Stephon Diggs. Opted to forego the onside kick with more than 5.5 minutes to go and 2 timeouts. Now they need a quick 3 and out provided by the defense. Jordan Howard, his big night continues. First down, 11-yard run.
That's how you run the ball in a 4-minute drill. Every inch matters. Right off the left side, you're going to see 41 Harris. In a one-on-one tackling situation, that's just great effort by Howard. What a performance by the young back, rushing and receiving. And if I'm Jay Cutler, I'm just going to remind him, protect the ball at all costs. Let's milk this clock.
Howard again. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, you know that Jay Cutler usually does not show a lot of emotions during a game, but he certainly has, especially in this second half. I watched him go up and dap up his entire offensive line. I was even watching him on punt coverage when they made a big tackle. He was jumping up and down enthusiastically. Remember, the talk this week upon his return wasn't so much how excited everyone was, but how much longer Jay Cutler was going to be here. He told us he wasn't really listening to that noise. He's heard it before, didn't really care about it. But John Fox said that he thought that he would come out here, that Cutler would come out here and play with a chip on his shoulder. And so far tonight, Sean, it seems like he really has.
When he said he was ready to go, teammates talked about the attitude's been very positive. And a lot of times you hear 1-6 teams say that, and it doesn't turn out to be true. They play with a lot of energy. With an eye toward the future, Jay Cutler's under contract through 2020, signed a 7-year deal. But after this year, none of the remaining almost $79 million is guaranteed. But where would they go? Really no logical successors if you're trying to do better in-house. Matt Barkley in his 4th year hasn't started a game. Brian Hoyer, a journeyman, 1 game over 500. Since Ryan Pace has been the GM, they have not drafted any quarterbacks the last 2 years. Mel Kiper says Mitch Trubisky of North Carolina, Deshaun Watson of Clemson, the best available in the next draft.
Music makes it a real mystery.
Well, you're the one who serenaded us with the Monster Mash to get the night started tonight.
Well, the Bears are going to have to bring a young arm in here at some point and develop them, but Chicago's not the Lone Ranger with quarterback issues that really need to be resolved. Cutler's contract, he's 33 years old. Look around the league. There's half a dozen teams that are hoping there's a quarterback in this draft. They're going to pursue the possible trades. Mike Glennon of Tampa Bay. What's going to happen to Kirk Cousins in Washington? Is there a sleeper in the draft like Dak Prescott? Who would have thought young Dak Prescott would be starting for the Dallas Cowboys doing what he's doing? And believe me, there's a lot of teams that would love to have a talented arm like Jay Cutler, who's played at times well in this league.
You mentioned Dak Prescott. Chicago had 3 picks in the 4th round in the last draft, the round in which Prescott was picked before Dallas picked Prescott. They didn't take him, and now that's revisionist history around here. But, you know, every other team in the league didn't take him either before Dallas did.
That's right.
I don't think anybody anticipated he'd be as good. And as we've seen, Dak Prescott's been terrific, but he's playing behind a terrific offensive line, maybe the best in the league. You put him behind that Minnesota line, you wonder how productive he'd be. There's Zach Miller, another great play call by Dowell Loggins. And you see Jay, I think he might even be pointing up to the booth to Dowell Loggins. They have a great relationship. And how about what Dowell Loggins told us? He was a quarterback in high school. He's 5'6". He said, I knew I wasn't really going to be able to play, even though I was a starter for 2 years in high school. He could have played at small schools. He decided to walk on at Arkansas because he wanted to be a coach. And he wanted to learn under Houston Nutt and his staff. He wound up being the holder for 4 years and wound up getting a lot of coaching experience with Houston Nutt. Went on to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, nobody's made this much yards against the Vikings. Nobody this year. Wow.
Well, they've been splitting carries among Langford and Carey and Howard. I think their primary back might have emerged tonight. What a night for Jordan Howard. It takes us to the 2-minute warning. 20-10 Chicago on Monday Night Football from the Windy City.
Yeah, I'm Coach Ditka. Of course the Bears are winning in the 2-minute warning. Coming up on the GMC postgame report, I'll be joined by, well, all of these guys. And on SportsCenter at night with Scott Van Pelt, he'll have his one big thing. Tom Brady beating Father Time and some bad beats. Are you really not going to watch SportsCenter now? Sean and John, come on, man.
Of course we are. I think they put a lot more time and effort into Halloween, obviously, than we did. But I'm ready. I'm as my ode to you. The Chucky stick and the Chucky mask, which I was going to wear, except it's a little hard to put on with the headset on.
That's a foul-mouthed little guy, that Chucky. You got to be careful with that.
And am I right in saying you, when you've been home,
17 years in a row.
you've been Chucky?
I've been
Did you even
Chucky.
have to wear the mask, or you just go like this?
The kids walk, they come up to the door, they knock, and they say, I know that's you, Coach Gruden. I got my Chucky mask on. 17 years in a row. You know, Chucky was born in Oakland back in 1998. Harvey Williams, one of our running backs. We were going to go 96. 96 goes to the right, 97 goes to the left. We went 96, and Harvey Williams went to the left, and I went crazy. He nicknamed me Chucky.
The Chucky face.
All because of Harvey Williams going the wrong way. Now, look at all these Chuckies everywhere. They're everywhere. Look at these guys. I love them. Look at them. Oh.
A lot of folks in the spirit here. Now, you embraced the whole Chucky thing. When I first started working with you, I was wondering if I should even reference it, but you don't. It doesn't bother you. You kind of like it.
I'm a moody person, as you know. I have my bad times, and some of them are dark. Especially when there's a lot of penalties that are going against me. That's why I love this tonight. 3 penalties.
Yeah.
Chucky would not have come out tonight. It's been a clean game, only 3 flags thrown, and I credit these officials for letting the men play. There were a couple games yesterday. My old team, the Oakland Raiders, they won a game with 24 penalties.
Yeah, their record.
But the Raiders are rolling. Can't wait to see them in a couple weeks on Monday Night Football in Mexico City. How great is that going to be?
It's going to be awesome. Great atmosphere. That game sold out in no time flat.
There'll be some Chucky masks at that game,
Yes,
I promise.
Will be. Playing the Houston Texans. No turnovers for the Bears tonight. They've given up only 1 sack, committed just 2 penalties. Jordan Howard takes us under a minute to go.
How about the history of the running back position at the Chicago Bears? Gale Sayers here tonight, the great one, Walter Payton, Matt Forte, and perhaps the emergence of another star, Jordan Howard. What a story he is. But to go to work every day in the tradition of Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, Matt Forte, what an opportunity, what a responsibility it is for Jordan Howard to be great, to give all he has. And he's a fine young man and dropped football at UAB, lost his dad as a young kid, kept grinding, kept playing, and here he is with an explosion on Monday Night Football. Good for him.
Kept grinding. I wonder if that's a foreshadowing of things to come.
You're getting it, Sean.
I tell you what, 8 games with you now.
Well, that's foreshadowing. That's a little multi-syllable word I usually don't use, but
the youngest player ever with 200 yards plus of offense in a game for the Chicago Bears. Pat O'Donnell to punt with 15 seconds to go. And the Minnesota Vikings, after that flying 5-0 start when they were playing basically mistake-free complementary football on offense, struggling up front. It's affecting the entire offensive operation. They'll need to regroup. Looks like it's going to be a very competitive division in this NFC North. Diggs trying to make a play. Brings it out to about the 2-yard line. Nick Kwiatkowski and Sherrick McManus. McManus, a special team standout for the last couple of years for Chicago.
Credit John Fox, the head coach of the Bears. 1-6, second year. Did not inherit a star-studded roster. They had a lot of aging players, cap problems. They have to rebuild this team. He and general manager Ryan Pace get a huge win tonight. And this can be a launching pad for this team. They have a lot of young players that desperately needed a win. They give them confidence.
Yeah, it was a team that really got old all at once. Guys like Urlacher and Forte and Marshall, not really old, but old enough that the average age was among the oldest in the league. Now they're one of the youngest. And perhaps a sign of progress tonight. A convincing win engineered by Jay Cutler. 20-10 the final as they take down the Minnesota Vikings, who had won the last 3 head-to-head between these division rivals. Sports Center coming up next, including the GMC post-game report. And we'll be back in just a matter of seconds to reveal this week's choice for the Gruden Grinder. See you in a minute, and thanks for watching Monday Night Football from the great city of Chicago.